Welcome back to Chillin in a Lounge. And guys, we have the story about Rick Chow and Cyrus Carmack. Cyrus Carmack-Belton. And I'm gonna just let you hear about the story and see where it takes us. Okay?
So this Asian man is going viral because he decided to do a rant about black people not wanting Asian businesses in their neighborhoods. 14-year-old boy was just shot for no reason. And the man that did it is Ricky Chow or whatever. There's other footage of him fighting black kids and harassing black kids, and he shot at black people before.
New information about two prior incidents where Chow reportedly shot at his customers. The latest one happening in 2018 when Chow shot at a customer that assaulted him. Before that, in 2015, Chow reportedly shot at another customer.
So basically, there's a story about this kid. His name is Cyrus Carmack-Belton. He went in this store. They followed him around. They took his bag. They has his bag at the front of the store so he don't steal anything. They're following him around, and basically, when it's time to leave, I guess the woman is accusing him of stealing something. So in his case, I think he didn't steal anything. It didn't look like it. And then he saw the father and the son coming after him, so he ran. And the father ended up shooting him in his back. They said that I heard that the father fell and then the shot went off. But in hearing that he shot at other black people, I don't find it, you know, surprising that he shot at this kid as well. So I think that's messed up. That's just crazy. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue to listen.
He's suspected of stealing. Chow says that customer left the gas station threatening him. Chow then ran behind him and shot at that individual's car 6 times.
So this guy has had a habit of doing this to black people in South Carolina. So we want to boycott this specific store because he killed somebody's son for no reason over a bottle of water.
Right.
And they're very disrespectful. What we want to do is boycott people who treat us like shit.
Right.
We didn't paint a whole picture and say, all you Asian motherfuckers get out of our neighborhoods.
Right.
We didn't say that, but you made a general picture about us black people, and that lets me know you ain't shit. You're a bozo. Because you go, oh, we'll take away the liquor. This is what you said.
I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout.
Yeah, take the Chinese takeout out. That's whack anyway. You serve us bullshit, GMO, all that. We get fat and get diseased off of your dirty food anyway. Because the food that's in the hood is not good for the black people. There is good Chinese food, but the shit you serve is usually trash. All right?
So what happened is after this killing and the guy got off, basically, or I don't even know if he had gotten off yet, but once he killed this kid, basically people got tired of going to these stores where they're being watched as if they're gonna steal anything, and then this guy. So as they started talking about boycotting and all of that stuff, this guy decides to come on and start talking about, yeah, go ahead, boycott. We don't need you guys. So it just sets it off. Everybody just starts to show him basically, yeah, oh, you think you don't need us? You in black communities, that's the only people who are really buying from you. How you gonna say they don't need you, or you don't need them? I should say. You know, that's just crazy. He's delusional. He don't realize, you never, what is it? How they say, you never harm the hand that feeds you. Hit the hand. I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, let's continue.
The dry cleaners.
We'll be fine. Black man invented dry cleaning anyway. We'll be fine with the dry cleaning. We will find another place to get our dry cleaning at.
The laundromats.
We'll be fine with that.
Let's give it to the liquor stores as well.
We don't need liquor. See, all the things, a lot of stuff you were naming is that has been killing us anyway. So we need to change up our anyway. liquor. I don't even drink anyway, and a lot of people should stop drinking liquor anyway.
The truth is, a lot of the stuff that they put in, like liquor, yeah, people need laundry mats or whatnot, but liquor and some of this other stuff that they be selling, they're just bad for you. The truth is, why do they put liquor stores in black communities? That's something you see that's clearly, uh, systematic or something. That they do that on purpose because they know, you know. But the truth is, black people indulge in everything. We take everything and we turn it into something cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that liquor is cool, but people abuse everything and it just becomes bad. Period. But everything that black people do basically turns into a trend. So that's basically what I'm saying.
So shame on you for that.
Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear.
Michael Jordan, he's not Asian. He's a black dude, okay? And I think that he can go somewhere else to get his shoes made, all right?
The shower caps,
Please, out of here with that.
the Hyundais, all your car electricians.
That's Japanese. There's no Japanese in the black neighborhoods anyway. And you said car electronics. Listen, there's certain things, of course, a lot of stuff made in Asia. That's fine. But guess what else? Asians do. Copy black culture. That's what you do. Right. So you should stay the fuck out of black culture too, sir. And then you say,
a lot of us do go to college. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed?
black women have the highest degrees in America. Black
It's just crazy how he said that. Are you not embarrassed? Like, come on, dude. Like, black people are smart. We have all stacked against us. You know what I'm saying? And these guys come in here and they set themselves up. They have more opportunities than blacks anyway. So they get themselves together and they better themselves. Sometimes it's hard for us as blacks to do that. Much black people who would have so much going on. you know there's just sometimes some things that just don't work out for us. Not all of us, at least. But let's go on.
people go to college too. And you had the nerve to say,
Go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people.
you know how many black people try to get loans, try to get money for businesses, and banks are so racist they don't give it to black people? You jack. And by the way, the reason why you guys have the right to come into black neighborhoods to open stores is because white folks didn't want you in their neighborhoods, so they sent you to the black community. And you said,
We have our own Chinatown. We have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money?
Chinatown was a ghetto.
I mean, why didn't you stay in your Chinatowns? Why didn't you only have those and sell that to your people and see how that would have worked out for you?
Where they put Chinese people in a certain area. Of course, you guys worked hard and built it up. That's facts. But it was a ghetto because they didn't like you. They had anti-Chinese laws against you. They did. White folks shit on Chinese people, Asian people in general. Japanese in internment camps, they shit on Koreans. So all of this shit you talking, you better know your history, buddy. So the reason why your is even in here to even open your mouth on that phone is because of the Civil Rights Bill in 1964. Did you know that? Off of black American sweat is the reason why Asians can come in here and do what they do. Arabs can come in here and do what they do. Even Africans can come here and do what they do because of black American hard work and sweat that they are disrespected for, sir. So your little rant was bullshit. It was a circus of word salad and because you don't know your goddamn history because you're a racist piece of shit. While we're talking about specifically boycotting one particular man because he has had a record of shit on black people. He doesn't give a fuck about black people and has the nerve to want black people's money. So yeah, we will boycott a lot of shit and we will affect your. So you challenge it. And by the way, I actually.
So basically, they decided to boycott that guy's store, and this guy gets on as if he's in support of this guy who just killed this kid for no reason, and mad because they're talking about boycotting the guy's store, and basically he turns it where everybody now all of a sudden is pissed at him and decides to boycott all Asian stores, because now he's out here talking crazy about black people. Talking like everybody is bad. All black people are bad, and basically if they take what they have, we gonna basically need it. That they could do without us, and that's obviously not true. Because right now they're crying. They're crying inside. Some of them are crying out loud. And I'm gonna be honest. There's some Asian people who are in support of black people, and they understand that you're wrong. You know, you need these black people because that's what your businesses are. That's where they are. So why would you say that? You're here because of black people. You know, it's like Godfrey talked about the civil rights movement and all of that stuff. So
Give you credit because you were factual on black people still coming to your stores, because we have been dependent on you. You were actually factual. That's why you had the bravery to open your mouth like that, because we have emboldened you to talk like that to us, because we have so much self-hate in ourselves that we will actually be disrespected and still come in to buy your poisonous weaves that are killing black women and giving them brain tumors. We will come in and get your liquor and all your cigarettes and all that bullshit while you still disrespect us. And this is not saying that every Asian business is like that. It's not that. You painted us in a broad picture. But the funny thing is we don't even think like that. We take people one by one, each business.
and that's true. Black people don't look at everybody. We don't look at all white people and be like, oh, all white people are racist, all Spanish people are this, all Asian people are that. Nah, we don't do that. And that's true.
By each business. You painted us as a whole, and you said racist about us because that's how you really feel about us, buddy. But I'm glad you challenged us, because you went for a big mother surprise, bro. We're different. You with the wrong black folks, for real. Now take that to the bank.
And then here we go.
Every
This
single
lady.
one of you failing in life, and then you want to blame everybody else.
After a week of testimony and roughly 8 hours of deliberation, Mr. Rick Chow was found not guilty of the murder of Cyrus Carmack-Belton. Ever since that time, there's been a lot of talk on the internet, especially the black community nationwide, with its respect to doing business with Asian-owned stores.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm serious about this. I'm not spending another damn dime.
Now, there have been a lot of Asians supporting black people at this time online. And I do want to preface that because I've seen it and seen so many videos, more positive ones than negative. But the negative ones always stand out.
I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well.
Don't have any leverage. You don't have anything. Everything you're boycotting, we make. And your people are not united. So therefore, go ahead and boycott if you want. In fact, we don't even live by y'all. We have our own Chinatowns. And you don't got nothing. Damn. But then,
When they killed George Floyd, did you stop going to white businesses? Did you stop shopping at IKEA? Did you stop eating Haagen-Dazs? Did you stop posting to Pinterest?
the people didn't have any real
And that's the thing. All these other Asians are chiming in because now we trying to stand together as black people. Now they have a problem with it. You guys are supporting yourselves, supporting your people whenever things go. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure. And now we standing up for our people, and you guys have a problem with that? Oh, come on.
sympathy for Mr. Carmack Cyrus Belton or his family. It was basically just apples and oranges. You didn't stop doing business with other groups of people, so why do you feel that way about us? But this unknown lady who is trending all over black social media right now just really told how she felt.
You see this whole Cyrus case and Mr. Chow? None of this would have happened if you motherfuckers raised your kids right.
But wait, there's more.
That little boy witnessed some of his business trying to steal water, okay? Now, I might not agree with Mr. Chow chasing the boy and shooting him in Timbuktu, okay, wherever the he was. But here's the crazy part. If you had disciplined your boy right, he wouldn't be in someone's store trying to steal a 50-cent bottle of water in the first place, okay?
Let's address this whole idea of your kids are not being raised correctly. Now, it is true that the black community, in my honest opinion, we have a horrible problem with the rearing of children with fragmented parents, and that is obviously the case. But it is not the case that we're talking about right now. The first mistake that she makes is assuming that Mr. Carmack-Cyrus-Belton was trying to steal water. Was he? When Cyrus Carmack-Belton walked into that store on May 28, 2023, he had a backpack, but he was forced to give his backpack to the convenience store. And that's what he did. He literally left his backpack at the front counter when he walked in. He went and picked up 4 bottles of water from a cooler, but he put them all back before walking back to the front of the store to retrieve his bag. Now, despite having returned the items, he was falsely accused of shoplifting by the store owner and his son. Now, I thought that was pretty interesting for this lady to want the black community to take accountability when she can't.
You know, in watching that video, this kid don't even look like a bad kid. I know because he had a gun or whatever they're trying to say, that he, basically portrayed him as a bad kid. The kid walked in with a backpack. He went to get the water. He put the water back. For whatever reason, he put the water back. They didn't allow him to get his bag. Maybe he was like, man, I ain't buying nothing from these people. They over here watching me. Made me put my bag down. Whatever reason. He left and they followed him. And this man shot him in the back. That's not self-defense. So I don't really understand how we got off, but they say it's because of how the case was tried. And let's just continue and see what's up.
And take the accountability for the fact that the owner in the situation and his son clearly couldn't see that this young man was not stealing. Now, Rick Chow is 61 at this time, but his son is much younger. And what we see here is because Cyrus Carmack-Belton was black, they automatically assumed that he was stealing, even though he was not. And even though this lady right now is ranting emotionally, she leaves this fact out, which is important because her bias against blacks is the same that we're seeing with Mr. Rick Chow and his son.
Your people! There are 7 black jurors who found your kid responsible, making Mr. Chow, okay, not guilty because they understand your culture.
Now, the point that's being made here is that there were several jurors on the case that was black. Now, Richland County is like 50% black, and there could have been between 5 to 7 jurors on the case. She's saying that the jurors found him not guilty.
So because of black culture is why she's saying that they found Mr. Chow not guilty. That don't even make any sense. And this is where people feel like a majority of these people are racist against blacks. And this is where this big boycott and all of this stuff is falling into place.
Because of the problematic black culture that we have. Now, if this is the case, then it needs to be retried again because of personal bias from the jurors. What the jury looked at was the evidence presented by the defense and the prosecution made the error of not trying to get a manslaughter charge for Mr. Rick Chow. They went all or nothing, and that loop is there in South Carolina. In most other states, if they can't get you on murder, they may come back to negotiate and you receive manslaughter. This is exactly what happened with Soon Da Ju and Latasha Harlins in 1981. I believe they either negotiated this deal and she was eventually tried on manslaughter. But that's not what happened in South Carolina. What she's trying to do is to put the so-called trash black culture on trial here when it wasn't the black community on trial. It was Mr. Rick Chow on trial for the killing of Cyrus Carmack-Belton, and he won fair and square. Because of her own personal bias, this is what she's saying. And then,
your mentality, you failed your kid, your society failed your kid, your mentality failed your kid, that niggerism fucking attitude failed your fucking kid. Now, if you can't reflect on that, and if you can't understand and take accountability for your failure, this will continue. More black kids are gonna die, your community is still gonna struggle, and your people will continue to be in poverty.
she takes the opportunity to get away from Rick Chow and address the black community as we see it. Now, I will say that I typically listen to criticisms from other people of the black community, and I want to see if it matches up to mine. And to be honest, if she was not Asian and we heard her ranting, and if we heard a black person ranting, if we were talking about this offline, many of us have these same conversations. We got to be honest. What we do not like to hear is that other people speak these things about us, especially in times where, the emotions are high. We feel like we've been neglected as a community. We feel slighted as a community. However, this is how a lot of people look at the black community. And this is how a lot of people see us. And the reality is, when you talk to black people about this narrative, many folks say, well, hey, I don't care. It don't matter to me. Well, in a way, it does.
I don't think people say they don't care, it don't matter. But he's right. We do talk about it, majority of us who want to see blacks do better. And but we don't want other people to talk about it. And that's definitely true. We don't want somebody who's not black telling us about our people. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what we've been through. Clearly, they don't understand the history, and they don't see how they benefit in any way. They don't even know what's going on. All they know is they came, they're doing good, they're living good, and as long as they can keep collecting their money and doing what they're doing, taking care of their family, they don't care about none of us. So, and that's what the issue is.
Does matter, especially if you need to work at these places with people who secretly feel like this. For an example, I look at a lot of channels, especially during this economic downturn, people losing their jobs. I'm going to tell you why this is important, because we all know about what's going on with the unemployment rate. I want you to look at the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. Last month in May, look at the unemployment. For whites, 3.8%, Asian, 3.8%. The national average was 4.3%. Hispanics were at 5%, Black African American at 6.6%. Now, you can care about this or not, but when you need to be employed by the dominant society, and if this is how they feel about us, then that must mean to a certain degree, whether we want to accept it or not, that that's a problem. And the only way you can not necessarily care is if you want to solve the unemployment rate in your own community by owning your own businesses. And a lot of people in the Hispanic communities, in the Asian communities, own their own businesses. So when hiring managers, recruiters see people who are black, secretly they feel like this, but ultimately this is why a lot of talented blacks get passed over for opportunities. And if people feel this way about your community, and if there's any truth to it, it's something that should be addressed. Even if you do not like it, even if it hurts, it's something that we should consider. And then,
no one's gonna give you a handout. Stop asking for a handout. Stop thinking you're gonna make bank off your kid's death, okay? What you need to do is self-reflect on your people, your culture, your community, and stop blaming everybody else. And let me tell you, boycotting the Asian community, they're probably thanking God that your black don't go into their store anymore to cause a muck.
Now this is interesting. No one will give you a handout. You need to self-reflect and look at what you do. That's crazy to say when you've benefited from what Black Americans did in the country with civil rights, and you're talking about not getting handouts. Largely, that was one of the biggest handouts that you guys ever got. But let's deal with the whole idea of self-reflection, because why I don't like what she's trying to say and the framing she's using. Yes, we do need to look at self-reflection a lot. And many times when other groups are talking about us as a community, there is a lot of painful truth in that. And it sucks. For example, I live here in Uganda. And I love Uganda.
I mean, I understand what she's saying, but it don't make what she's saying right. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't give her a right to speak about us black people in that way because it's a generalization and she shouldn't be doing that. Because if we generalize, we'll be saying a lot of things about them, but they don't like that, but we're always wrong. So
I love being here. But I've heard several criticisms from other people who may feel a certain way from Ugandans, where it's online or you might sometimes hear it in person. You might hear it from Indians. You may hear from whites. You may hear from other groups. But ultimately, if you come to a certain situation where a lot of people are saying similar things about you, then it does have some proof to it. And what happens is in the black community, we tend to be sensitive to what other people say about us, but at the same time, we'd like to hold other people accountable for what they do to us. And largely, we let people get away with a lot of murder in the black community, from politicians to black pastors to Pookies and Ray Rays. And so when that happens and that's defended, it largely loses us a lot of respect, especially with other people in the community. Even when you get somebody like this who absolutely has nothing what they're talking about, they have the ability in their minds to attack us from the outside to talk about the holes and flaws in our own community. But I do think that we ought to listen to these holes and flaws in our community. And the reason why is because most of us say the same damn thing that she's saying. Now, publicly, as a pro-black, we're not gonna let her talk about us like that. Because she ain't got no business talking about us like that, right? And I'm with you 100% that anybody that's speaking on us publicly, we gotta stand on business and that gotta be checked. But secretly, we have to address the way that the world is looking at us and the community is looking at us, and we got to get on our stuff before it is too late. All right? Not everybody who's been talking about this stuff, they've been holding this stuff kind of in, and absolutely we know that people are getting over on blacks and mistreating us and all that kind of stuff, and I get it. But boy, do we have to fix some of these holes so that we can improve as a community. And
look, I think black people have been trying our best. You know, I'm not gonna make excuses, but it's not just one area. It's our whole country, and that's not an easy task. You know, and to have everybody else working against us, that makes it even tougher. But guess what? There's a lot of black people who are doing good, but they don't look at that. You know, they just focus on talking the negative. They just want to show only the bad side of black people. You know, they got mad when we got a black president. Look at that. And look what it turned into. Because that hate don't stop. And that's what we need. When you get the hate to stop, this world can actually change.
as a people, number one, by respecting what we got. It took me so long to understand the beautiful community I came from, all the opportunities that I had in the black community that our people fought for. I didn't really know until I got over to Africa and over to Europe. I had to learn the hard way. But if you're in the States, you got the opportunities. There's nothing better in the ecosystem for black people in no place than Black America. Asians don't got that ecosystem. Mexicans don't got it. Nobody got it but you. And you got to take advantage before it's too late. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shady Jackson back at it again for another episode.
Hey man, I liked his content. That was pretty cool. A lot of the things that he was saying is right. I didn't find anything that per se was wrong. But at the end of the day, we as black people can't stop. We can't give up, and we just gotta continue to fight to be better, do better, and to look out for other blacks just like ourselves. Sometimes we got people who only care about themselves, and that's part of the problem. So if you can help somebody else, go ahead and help them. And I just want to thank you guys for looking at this video, checking it out, and trying to see what you can get out of it. Because I think we all need to take a look at ourselves and see how we can change ourselves and how we can help our community do better. So we don't have to be looking at stories like this and have to be dealing with cases like this and have to see our kids dying like this. But thank you, and until next time, we'll see you again.